Hello everyone, and today I'm going to be going over some tactics from Game 11 of the World Chess Championship that just happened last month. This game was like full of blunders from both sides, especially White. White made like the biggest blunder of the match, which basically decided the whole game. And then Black made a few smaller ones that reduced their advantage, but not really, like reduced his advantage, but not really, killed him like it did for White. So, anyway, so some of these are going to be like kind of small, and like others are going to be like much more important, cooler. But anyways, these are just some of the tactics that I found when going over the game by myself. So, anyways, this is the first tactic I saw. So these are just going to be like in order from like just like earliest to latest in the game. So this is the first one that occurred, and here it's White's turn to move. Okay, so if you want, you can pause for a second to see what it's a tactic. But anyways, we can see that here Black is attacking the knight with this pawn. Normally you can just like take it, and you would take it. But here in this position, White can do something else, which is to take this pawn. And that's just simply because this pawn over here attacks this rook, which is obviously more valuable than the knight. This is an example of like an intermediate move where you attack a more valuable piece while your opponent is taking another piece of yours, and this forces your opponent to respond first, and makes your opponent move, and then you have some more time to do something else. So it's just a pretty basic, but I guess a real life example of an intermediate. So okay, so on to the next example. So a few moves later, so I'll be showing this in terms of White's or Black's perspective. Sorry. Okay. So we can see that White is attacking Black Rook over here. And then like there's some just like advanced pawn here, and this. You can take this pawn too. So anyway, I'm not sure there's too much to pause here, but I just thought this was like a pretty like interesting tactic relatively. But what you can do as Black, as instead of caring about this, capture, you can actually sacrifice this rook somewhat and move here, take the knight, and then now White is kind of forced to just take the rook, because otherwise it'll just be like a huge material deficit that is like just makes an already miserable position for White, like just basically lost. Like, so White just takes this, and the reason why Black is allowed to sacrifice the rook is because now there comes like a really nice and basically winning attack from Black. Black with the queen can take this pawn, and now move some pieces in. This always threat. This, just random stuff, just little huge attacking possibility. Basically opens up the whole position, and I mean before White was winning, but now it's just like it's just that much easier. Okay, so I think this is like you can keep this in mind in actual games, just similar to the last one in that don't be afraid to do intermediate moves, and especially in this case where it wasn't really even a sacrifice. Black got like a pawn and a knight, which is by point value is just 1 point less than a rook, and even then the pawn is like pretty important because it's like a pawn that guards the king. Okay, so next example we have this tactic over here. So So there's a couple possibilities. And this is not really a tactic, but I just thought it's like a pretty cool move. That's like, just something that you can do. And that's just that, like this. So this is like kind of like a weird position, like, because there's so many attacking possibilities for black. But here, what this move does is that it uncovers a protection on this row. And so now, previously there was a checkmate threat, just simple checkmate threat here, and also checkmate threat here. So like this is a checkmate, right? The king can't go anywhere. It's protected. The queen's protected, that is. And this is also a checkmate threat, so can't go here anyways. But a move that that addresses both of these issues at once is this, because now after this, the queen, like I said before, protecting the square, and also now after this, you can go here. Like this, you can force a trade, I guess. Go like this. Note that the rook can't take because then, like this. Like, so if the rook takes here, queen would go here, or it doesn't matter than that. Black would be winning. The king has to take. I think this was here. And then it's a drawish game, like do this, capture this, I guess. And then it is probably in black's best interest to just, or white's best interest to defend this. Now there's some possibilities that black can do. Black can take here. After this, take this pawn, which I would personally do. I think that's just like a sure shot of victory, especially with the 2-pawn advantage in the endgame. That's just easy. Like this, but it might be a little bit riskier. Just because of something like this, and you might have some like attacking threats now. But even then, I think this shouldn't be too big of a problem for black to defend. So you can do that too. Okay. And then this will probably end up with black having 3 pawns. So that's like kind of like a tactic. This address both the issues at once, which, in my opinion, the best moves in general are just moves that, like if you have a weakness, it fixes your weakness, or if your opponent's attacking you, it addresses the attack and it helps your plan or something like that. So 2 reason moves are always like really good in my opinion. So on to the next example. Okay, so this is a true tactic. It's actually a tactic. So I guess pause the video if you're want to think about it for a bit. So before I guess I give the answers, a couple already good moves. You can go here, go here. There's always this trade thing available. But okay, we don't want to trade, right? Like, as black, you kind of like down material, just technically. That is, at least in terms of the exchange. So you don't really want to do that. But what you do want to do is you want to try to use like the attack that you have to gain back material advantage. Can't really do this. That was just like a threat that I did because for obvious reasons. But the point is that you can do this. So you can check here, and then now after this, you can take this, and now since the white king has to go here, you can finally take this, and now you're completely winning. There's literally no other thing. So before you were down material, and now you're just winning with a way better position. Okay, so the last example is that this is a pretty like nice like trick, I guess, that black did. And pause the video if you want to think about it. Think about what's the best move here for black. Shouldn't be too bad, but and this is a trick that you can actually use in the endgame. Would like. It's just pretty instructive. But anyway, so the answer is rook to b3, simply because there's really two options for white, one of which is just obviously bad, like just immediate bad, which is just moving the king here. If you move the king here, then just take this, or sorry, other way around, sorry. The rook can take this, and just, yeah. But there's also another thing to this, but I'm sure you guys will realize by now that after this is white still lost, because after this the pawn will promote, and that'll be cool. So that's just win. So anyway, so these are some examples of tactics that I just saw in this game. Most of them are pretty basic, but it's interesting just to see some examples of tactics show up in a real life game, especially something that's this high level in the World Chess Championship. This many blunders is especially in contrast to the earlier games in the match. Very surprising, but of course, like, as the tournament, I guess you can say, or the match progressed, there are more blunders just in general. So hopefully you enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys next video.